creative end, um, the digital end behind Gangster Chronicles. That's what's sitting before me right now.
Yeah.
I appreciate if you introduce yourself to Gully TV.
Oh, sure. What's happening, everybody? It's Norm Steele, executive producer of Gangster Chronicles and a whole bunch of other dope podcasts.
How long have you been in this business?
Man, shit, theoretically, man.
Hip hop as a whole.
Oh, hip hop as a whole, man.
Hip hop media as a whole, yeah.
Man, you know, I started off in the music business, man. I was in the music business for like the last 20, 25 years, bro. Like, shit, I'm giving my age away now. Like the last 28 years, you know, worked for a publishing company, was A&R for a publishing company, worked for a whole bunch of people, worked with a whole bunch of people who iconic right now, worked with TDE real early on.
Oh, yeah.
And a bunch of dope, really dope other people. Yeah, those are my folks right there. Shout out Dude Dog, Punch, my cats, my dudes.
All right.
But I was working for a music publishing company, Minder Music, based out the UK. And I had to deal with them as a writer, and it sort of just led to me moving into a more executive capacity when they opened the offices here in the States.
Okay.
So I was working out of Hollywood, California, working for those cats.
Okay. At which point was it decided that you would take your media aspiration into the form of a podcast? When was that decided?
You know what, man? That was real early on, man. We talking about maybe 2004. Believe it or not, like 2004 to 2006, I was still managing a rapper named Glasses Malone, and Glasses was always real opinionated. And I saw where media was going. I saw it, you know, growing, the rise of the internet and everything, as far as folks really getting in line. There wasn't a whole bunch of people then. So we had started doing Glasses on podcasts. Of course, it was mad inconsistent. You know what I mean? It was like, you know, Glasses, we'd do 2-3 shows and episodes in a row, then he'd just fall off from it. You know, he had a lot of stuff going on at the time.
Right.
He had a lot of stuff cracking at the time, so it wasn't quite the time, but that was the time I saw, and I knew that one day this whole thing would be huge. And I think the biggest thing today, a lot of people don't know what a podcast actually is. A podcast is audio.
Okay.
It's not video like they may be looking at now, but don't get me wrong, you can have audio, you know, you can strip video from your audio and all that stuff and, you know, put the visual version out of it, but a podcast in its purest essence is a piece of audio.
Okay. All right. So, damn, you said as early as 2004 you had aspirations of fucking with that.
Oh man, I saw it because I used to travel to the UK back and forth. And I went to this music conference called Midum, and at Midum, it was in Cannes, France. And at Midum, they had everybody out there, a lot of people out there working new distribution deals, people breaking new acts out there in the international market and everything. But it also had a really big media component to where Vodafone, and this was maybe 2004, I went out to Midum, Vodafone was already putting video on phones and everything. They was already using video over there and everything. So we kind of like in the States, kind of mad late to the technology.
Right. I noticed that when I went to Europe that the United States, we had this big, bold reputation of like being like the leaders, and when I went over to Europe, I seen that the country was way cleaner, and their technological advances was way ahead of us and shit.
Oh man, shout out to the UK, man. I love the United Kingdom. That's how I hooked up with the publishing company by me, you know, going back and forth and doing business over there.
Okay.
They are very much ahead of us when it comes to certain things, you know, and at that time, especially because what I saw them doing was incredible, like just from the music standpoint to the videos and stuff. I was like, wow, they looking at videos on their phone.
Right.
We wasn't doing that over here at that time.
You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. So the title, Gangster Chronicles, when was that given birth? We talking about your whole production in its infancy stages.
Okay, you go hear me bring up Glasses Malone's name again.
No problem. Let's go.
Glasses Malone he's just not a dude I manage. That's like my little brother. Okay. You know, me and him been mad tight, you know, from the Sony deal to the Cash Money Records deal up, you know, to present, right? I've been with him through the whole evolution, the process as an entertainer, right?
Right.
So we were sitting up in our living room, and me and him always kind of shoot ideas off each other. At that time, he happened to be over at my house. We was in the living room, and we was watching, I forget what show we was watching. It wasn't American Gangster. It was one of those shows, you know, it was something, American Greed, American Gangster or something.
Right. And
I said, man, you know what would be dope to have a show with a real gangbanger, a former police officer, and a sociologist type of cat. I said, that'd be dope. Now that was probably like a year and a half before Gangster Chronicles actually went into production. What happened was I saw a cat. I've been seeing this cat, and I've seen a few interviews with him, right? James McDonald. I saw him on something I think he was doing with a Greg Kading at first initially. Something he did with Greg Kading. Saw that, then I saw him on Vlad like everybody else, and I said, man, that's the gangster I wanted. I wanted to have somebody that was really, I didn't want to have no knucklehead, no dude that was still out there banging, but I wanted to have somebody that was authentic, that was really like a gangster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily just a gang banging fool, but like a gangster, a grown man. A dude that don't been locked up, that don't went through every aspect of just living that lifestyle, right?
Right.
So I saw that right there, and it was funny because when I saw it, I was talking to Glasses about it, and then he hit me up. He said, "Bro, that's who you need to get on the Gangster Chronicles. You need to get Mob. You need to get Mob James." So I said, "Well, how do we reach out to him?" The dude didn't have no social media, nothing like that. It's not like I can go on Facebook and just look up, find him. So I didn't have no clue on how to get at him. Glasses knew a couple cats from that neighborhood, so he got me in touch with him. But then between time, I'll hit Reggie Wright up online, because I knew Reggie Wright, messed with James.
Yeah.
So I hit Reggie up, and I said, you know what? That's the former cop right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey man, I got an idea for a show. So initially, the Gangster Chronicles was me, James McDonald, and Reggie Wright.
James McDonald's is Mob James.
Yeah, it's Mob James.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Mob James.
Right.
So then we went into production, and at that time I was looking to move to Atlanta. I was gonna move to Atlanta, Georgia. I got a son that played football. He's about to go to the University of Florida, and I've been trying to get out of California. I ain't gonna lie, for the past 10 years. It's just, that's a whole nother story.
Right.
But I was looking to go to Atlanta, Georgia, right, at that time. So I said, you know what, man? And it wasn't never meant for me to be a full-time person on this show. You remember I was missing sociologist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to one of my publicists, my homegirl is a publicist, and she was telling me, I was telling her what I was looking for, and she said, I may know a guy. I know a guy from Street TV. I'm not going to go into saying his name and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So I said, that'd be cool. I thought he'd be a cool guest, so I brought him over as a guest, just kind of to fill him out for like the 4th episode.
Mm-hmm.
Then I asked him, I said, hey man, this is what this is. Would you be interested in being a part of this, right? So then that whole thing was born. It was born a long time before that, but it kind of came to life during that time.
Didn't sound like a lot of red tape. Sound like people was kind of like open to the idea. You've got some skills and delegating situations, because it's definitely become a factor. I before I even knew the concept of it, I was hearing the name a lot. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At which point did MC Eiht become a part of the show?
Well, man, we got a whole storyline that goes from that to that. There was a whole lot of stuff that happened.
Because when I became aware of the staff and
exactly.
the JoJo thing.
Yeah,
All right.
So Eiht became involved because when iHeart first got at us, when Black Effect, shout out Charlemagne, God, Dolly, y'all over there. When they had started talking to us about the show, hitting us up, and we was kind of like in the dating stages,
Mm-hmm.
me and Charlemagne had been building. And he said, man, I think y'all missing one aspect, is you got to keep remembering in mind, I was never supposed to be on the show. That was never supposed to happen. I was doing other stuff.
Okay.
You got to remember, I wasn't just starting a podcast, I was starting a network at the time, so I didn't want to be the guy that was playing and coaching.
Got it.
You feel what I mean? I wanted to be a great coach. That was my main thing, is to be a good coach and be behind the scenes. I didn't want to be behind no cameras. Never had no aspirations of that. I'm not tripping off of being famous, you know what I mean? So when they started talking to us and everything, man, Charlemagne said, I think it'd be a good idea if y'all had a rapper on the show. First thing I was thinking is, because it's so hard dealing with motherfuckers, dog. I was just like, man, I hope you say somebody that's cool, you know what I mean?
Right.
So he said, how cool are you with MC Eiht? And I said, wow, that's good work right there. That's my man right there. Me and him are real cool already. And
Right.
we had already talked kind of pre-COVID, because there was some situations going on within the show, like on the back end of the show,
Right.
that I was looking to make some, switching up some things on. And it was already I'd already kind of floated that idea with Eiht, how would you feel about coming on the show?
Okay.
Because the Gangster Chronicles was never supposed to be the same people in perpetuity.
Okay.
The Gangster Chronicles was always meant to be a thing. It was always meant to be a thing like, you had the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, when Johnny Carson left, somebody else came on and took over, right? Now it's just the Tonight Show, right? That's what it was always supposed to be. It was supposed to be a thing, man, where you pass down, through each generation. These guys tell their generation's story. Right. And everything is going on. Then another incarnation of those other people come in, you know what I mean? It never was meant to be a thing where the same people always stayed in the show.
Got it. Okay. So, how did the discrepancy develop? I'm not reaching off into no issue or nothing like that. I just want a little bit of clarity, because by the time I became aware of Gangster Chronicles in totality, it was because MC Eiht was being accused of some things that proved not to be true.
Yeah.
But how did that situation develop? Like, where did that come from? Just
what, man? I'm gonna break it all down for you. This is it in a nutshell. It's called negativity.
Negativity.
Not negativity, but negativity, right?
Nigga shit, yeah.
It's nigga shit, dog. Whenever people want to be a part of something and they don't understand the business behind it, it's like, it's a business at the end of the day. Right. It's not just like, hey, we get this thing going, we put you on it. No, it's contracts involved and, other things, right? So though we may be rocking with you, don't necessarily mean we go put you on the show. Don't necessarily mean you go become the third or fourth member, Right. Well, I'm saying we just mess with you, we doing it. I came with that because me and that person was actually all right. I don't have no beef. I don't get emotional about none of this stuff. It's all what it is to me,
Okay.
So he had actually called me, man, and said, hey, man, I got some information about your man you might want to know about. Now, keep in mind, Eiht don't have some of the biggest records on the planet, dog. At one time, Eiht was that dude when Menace to Society and all that came out, he was as big as anybody else on the planet. He had #1 songs, not just in America, but like the world at one time, So I said, well, man, that's kind of profound to me, because if this happened, notice all this stuff it took place 30 years ago, 20, some shit that's so mad long ago,
right,
that kids that was in diapers shitting on themselves at that time, they grown men now. It's been that long. So I hear that, man, I say, you know what, bro? And I'm always the person to say, when I get stuff like that, first of all, I don't subscribe to none of the nigga shit. So when I hear stuff like that, I'm kind of like, well, man, you know what? I'm not going to go rob no banks with the cats. We doing a fucking podcast.
Right, period.
I said, secondly, bro, I said, that's not no paperwork. That's not the proof. I said, I can go write something upstairs right now. And just because I write Joe Blow is an informant, that don't make it fact.
Right.
That don't make it factual.
Right.
So I told him, and he was kind of telling me, I said, well, I don't know what you want me to say to that man, whatever. So, that situation came out. We found out that wasn't true at all.
Okay.
Because first of all, I'm going to tell you like this, and this is a lesson for y'all out there in internet land. I'm not claiming to be the foremost expert on the law and all that stuff, but it's some stuff that's just common sense. If you or myself get a grand jury summons, somebody says you get a notice in the mail, Mr. Such and Such, you've been, you are hereby informed that you have to show up here on this date, this and that, and February 25th, 2022, 2023, whenever. You better have your ass there.
You gotta honor that.
If you don't come, guess what's gonna happen? They're gonna knock on your door and they're gonna come put handcuffs on you and throw you in jail. So you gonna go. That's not you taking a stand. That's not even a courtroom.
Right.
You know what that is? That's a room with some tables in it, like a boardroom, to where they come in there and they ask you some questions. They had some questions for Eiht that he was gonna have to answer. And I don't like talking for nobody else, so
right.
But I need to say this to explain the situation, right. Now, right?
Okay.
So Eiht had appeared in a movie. He appeared in a movie. The guy gave him $100,000 cash. That was it. That was all. Eiht goes to wherever he goes, does the movie, he comes back home. A while later, his lawyer, his attorney, says, hey man, I'm about to turn state's evidence. They're gonna do this. And so Eiht is kind of just shocked, like, what? Like, what are you talking about? So he has to go hire another attorney, because come to find out, his attorney had been in collusion with that person that was allegedly selling drugs or whatever. I don't know, what the whole full thing about it, but he was accused of some mess, right? his attorney advises him like, man, you know, this is what's going to happen. I recommend you get counsel. So he kind of warned him. So he goes out and gets another attorney. He gets his thing. He has to go to this thing, right? He goes down there. They ask him a few simple questions. Do you know this man? Yes, I do know him. On this date, he gave you such and such amount of dollars, right? Because now they're establishing a paper trail on certain things, right? He says, how much money were you, what did you get? I received $100,000 for what? I'm a movie, I'm a rapper, and I'm an actor. Okay, did you know that this man was actively involved in things? No, I know nothing about that. Well, how do you know him? I know him to be a person that works in the field of entertainment that hired me to do a job.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Taylor. You may go on. He flies home.
Right.
Now, the guy that's locked up is writing a book. Mm-hmm. And one of the most popular names, you got to remember, when he went to jail, you know, brothers, when they go to jail, the last thing they remember, that's what their reality is. Yeah. They don't know that the world is moving on. You know, just because Joe Blow, nigga MC, might have been the hottest dude in the rap game at the time when he went into jail in '92, when you get out in 2022, it's going to be a whole nother thing. Right. That dude may be working at Wendy's some fucking where right now. Right. You know what I mean? So, it's not cracking no more. So, my guy, he does all that right there. Now, keep in mind, that guy at the time was like Tony Montana or some shit, the real life Tony Montana. Had Eiht been a confidential informant or a witness, that shit would have been national news. Because see, niggas always want to play the role like somebody is in the courtroom, sitting on top of the thing they watched it in movies. Who was the man that ran the organization? Oh, it's him right there. Or somebody coming in wearing some wires. Man, come on, man, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
So that was that situation.
All right.
That wasn't nothing. That wasn't even serious. That was like kind of like just a
nigga shit.
Yeah, it was nigga shit. Yeah. You know what I mean?
All right, let's be done with that. To date, what's your most downloaded episode?
You know what, man? To be honest with you, probably the most, and this is gonna trip you out, but this is a fact. Our most downloaded episode is the first episode ever of the show.
Okay.
The very first episode ever. Sounds horrible. I'll tell you right now. Huh? We was just talking, it wasn't really no topic. We was introducing the show. You know what I mean? We was introducing the show. It wasn't horrible. It was cool. You could tell it had potential.
Right.
But compared to the stuff we started doing later on, it was horrible. But it has to be the either Mr. Criminal episode, who's a Mexican rapper, shout out to the homeboy Criminal, or the Mr. Mix interview from Two Live Crew.
Oh yeah?
As crazy as that sounds, the Mr. Mix talking to him about Luke and all that other stuff, that right there, Sammy the Bull is up there too. Sammy the Bull, it's a tight one.
I can see Mr. Mix being downloaded because the interest, it's a rare interview.
Yeah.
Two Live Crew do have a fan base, and when people seen it, they probably ran right to it, because I would listen to an interview from him.
I don't know if I can get into my thing right now, but I might have some stuff. Hold on. I might have some stuff. Hold on. Let me see, because I can't get inside See, look, this is at the time the interview came out. It was at 107,556 episodes.
Say that again?
It was at 107,556, but this is from the work week, first week it was out. This is some old data I was looking at, because I happen to have it in here, right?
Okay.
Because I sent it to him before. But our show is a podcast. That's our main thing with the show. It's always been audio. When we did the deal with iHeart, we did that strictly for audio.
Okay.
It wasn't for no videos, for no other stuff like that. We just now probably getting within the last 2 years of the episode as far as really just getting videos, but we produced a trailer for the show.
Okay.
Had Warren G produce the beat, and Cocaine, sing the hook and everything. Yeah. The next one we got coming up is gonna be so fucking crazy. It's gonna be so fucking retarded, dog.
When y'all took on the name Gangster Chronicles, did people expect y'all to stay in that lane and just talk about?
Well, every city, first of all, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio.
Is you?
Shout out to C-Town all day, baby.
Okay.
But I've been out here since '88.
I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Right down.
Yeah, I came out here in '88. You know, I came out here to play football.
Okay.
I was a dude fucking up in high school. You know, not really fucking up. My grades just wasn't right. So I wound up at that time. There was JC's out here was recruiting dudes all over the Midwest, all over the South and everything. So it's a whole bunch of brothers. I came out here with some brothers from Florida, from Patterson, New Jersey. They was from all over the country. You know, They came out here to play ball. So the thing with the Gangster Chronicles is this. To me, gangster is anything. Gangster ain't just no cripple blood shit. Gangster is, if a motherfucker is working in the bank and he figures out a way to skim a penny off everybody's account.
That's gangster.
That's gangster. That's some gangster shit.
Yeah.
If it's a motherfucker that's running credit card scams, that's some gangster shit. The Gangster Chronicles was always supposed to be a show about crime.
Okay.
Not just no cripple blood shit. It was supposed to be about crime. It was a crime podcast. It is a crime podcast. And people are going to see that moving more and more in that direction.
Where did the gang connotation come from? Well, when I hear Gangster Chronicles, I think of gangs. Is it because of Mob James?
Probably because Mob James, a dude named Mob James was hosting the show, you know, some former Death Row Records guys, you know what I mean? And it's just, that's what I'm saying, you automatically get the connotation of just seeing Big Suge somewhere just smacking people around or whatever. And it wasn't that kind of thing, you know what I mean?
When I went to do Smoke a Lot Radio with Yugmouth, I was in a real good mood and I was high and I was having a good time. When they told me that they was like, this is the Gangster this is the Gangster Chronicles spot, you know what I'm saying? They shoot here sometime and shit. I was like, damn. Like, immediately I got on alert, like, damn, like.
And it didn't look like no shit like you think. See, the thing is, man, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I'm not gonna get into all the whole thing that happened with James.
Yeah, I'm not either. I want to make that clear. I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah, but this is what I want to say, man. We get people today that are so invested in other people's business.
Right.
You know, stuff that shouldn't even be talked about online. Something like that shouldn't even be talked about online. That's not no play thing.
Right.
It's not my business. It's not his business, not your business, definitely not your business.
Right.
It has no impact on nothing. We do a podcast together, man. The podcast is doing great. We just renewed for another few years, man, with iHeart. You know, everything is beautiful, man.
It's nigga shit, again.
You know, it's nigga shit, man. And I think a lot of times as black people, we get so caught up in stuff that has no bearing on anything. You know, I had people hit me when that situation first came up. You all right, bro? I didn't even know what they was talking about. You all right? Such said this over here, such said this over here. And it was like, bro, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't look at the internet, but then when I go on there, I see it, I start hearing it, whatever, like that. I'm like, whatever. One of my guys hit me. You know, I got a couple of dudes I'm real close with, that's real street dudes.
Okay.
And they like, man, bro, you know, wumpty wham. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to go rob no banks with this, brother.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's not my business.
It's not my business. Like, I don't even want to like entertain this stuff, man. And so a lot of stuff with us as black people, man. And I say that to say this because I was talking to when I was talking to some of the execs up at iHeart.
Right.
You know, in people's Negro minds, they think that stuff is that so big that it's gonna be national news. It's actually this small.
It is all the time.
It's always this small.
The crab barrel is small.
Yeah, the crab barrel is small because this is a whole nother world like this. They like, man, you know, okay, you know, and they moving on with their day. We are the only people that can't get that in their minds, dog. We get so stuck on nigga shit, dog. Stuff that's not important that it really keeps us really limited in our endeavors. I'm gonna tell you like this, like I was just telling one of my homeboys today. I said, man, you can have a liquor store, right, in the neighborhood. You can have your own store and have the same stuff the 7-Eleven offers, same, you know, same price point, same everything. A nigga will walk 2 blocks up the road to go to 7-Eleven before he comes across the street to go to your store. They're gonna talk bad about it. They're gonna say, look at him, he act funny, he think he's shitting out because he got something. He got this and that. People actually, black people love to build you up. I'm not talking black people, I'm saying niggas. Not black people, niggas. It's totally two distinct things, right? Niggas wanna see something going up, they won't never say nothing. But the moment they see it start to just move an inch, we niggas look for other people's, the demise of their own. They love entertaining the demise of their own. anything that's negative, it drives them.
Right.
How long you been working on it, like doing this, what you do?
I started out as a DVD in 2004. I've been doing this, it's about to get close to 20 years.
So you've been doing this for 20 years, for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, we like to sit up there and call white folks devils and all this other stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Who has done the most horrible act to you in your life?
White folks ain't did nothing to me. If I had an encounter with them, it's because I broke the laws of general society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and had to go, prison, get corrected like that. But I've never had no
And
problem.
I had to tell somebody,
people.
Don't get me wrong, I've been pulled over by police and everything like that, bro.
Right.
But the people that have hurt me most of my life, not really hurt, but just doing scandalous ass shit, it's always been a nigga behind it, dog. Never been a white boy.
Yeah.
Never been a white person. So I say that to say this, man. I keep a certain energy around me, man, and it has led to nothing but success. And that don't mean that we win. It's hard, dog. It's, it's work to do anything, right? Mm-hmm. Anything worth having is always gonna be hard work, right? But the thing is, I've always maintained, dog. Right now, we got the digital soapbox. We got 3 or 4 people on staff, dog. It's working. We expand this stuff. We just have gotten distribution into the TV market. We're gonna start doing a lot of stuff for Hulu, Tubby TV. We just, I'm gonna break some news on here, dog. We just completed, came to an agreement with Suge Knight for his new podcast. That's why you heard it. This Suge Knight's new podcast will be on digital soapbox.
So when you say Suge Knight's new podcast, is he gonna be a participant in this to the best of his ability for prison?
Yeah, he's actually gonna be hosting that from the big house.
Oh wow.
He's actually gonna be hosting
y'all
that from the
taking
big
this
house.
shit to places it ain't never went
Yeah,
before.
and we're working with Mac Minister on something as well. His own podcast. So we got something that we're gonna be doing with the cats that's in
Shout
prison.
out to the Bay.
Yeah. Shout out to the Bay. I gotta do that for the Bay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Suge is for LA. Mac Minister, Mac Minister for the Bay. So just doing that, man, just so those brothers can have a voice and get out there. It ain't nothing that we looking at making up. I don't do stuff for money, first of all, bro. I don't work in that premise. I figure if you do what you do and you excel at it and you honor that, it's gonna take care of you. The universe will allow you to do what it is you do.
For sure. Yeah. So you said, that situation came up, and basically, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So y'all just went on and just continued.
Man, we don't been. You know what? I heard somebody say, man, since that stuff happened, y'all ain't put on the episode. I said, what are you talking about, bro? He said, well, I ain't seen it on YouTube. Bro, we are a podcast.
Yeah.
Go to Spotify.
Yeah.
Go to Apple Podcasts. Go to iHeart. Download the iHeart app.
Deezer.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Deezer, all that stuff. We've been putting episodes out consistently, bro. It don't stop nothing because it's that little bitty group of people. And
I'm glad y'all continue because y'all show strength in opposition to the nigga shit, because y'all had something positive that was working for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, putting everybody in a position to be compensated some way. And I'm glad y'all didn't disrupt that.
And one thing I'm thank God for the Gangster Chronicles for, I told somebody was like, man, there's a lot of people doing shows just like y'all. And I said, that's good. I would much rather see a brother out there doing this thing, man, robbing people, jacking people, selling rocks or whatever the fuck it is he's doing that's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
I would rather see him, dog, pick up a microphone and get behind a camera, and if he get 1 million motherfuckers to watch his shit, God bless him, man. I'm not mad at that. I'm all about the advancement. Anything that's positive, man, for my people or just people, period, to move forward, they're doing, it's not bothering me because I know what I have up here. It's like this, bro. There is more than enough money for everybody to eat. It's more than enough money for everybody to exist. And there's more than enough people, dog. More than enough people to watch everybody's stuff, right? Because see, and that's the problem. We get so caught up in this little narrow-minded mindset, man, that we can't think past our 2-block radius. But the thing is, bro, and this is the reality of things right there, right? Everybody should just focus on developing their own audience. I don't worry about what nobody else is doing, bro. Right. If somebody come up with another Gangster Chronicles podcast and call it the Chronicles of a Gangster, man, if he blow up with that, man, salute to him.
Tell me about some of the countries that's tuning in. When I look at my analytical reports, I'll be shocked at some of the places that I'm like, man, they interested in what I'm doing way over there. Kazakhstan and all these crazy.
You know what they listen to a lot at, man? In Nairobi, Kenya, And shout out to Africa. Africa on the whole be going up for us. The United Kingdom, Germany, Czechoslovakia. It be some crazy places. You know, the craziest letter that I ever got, though, is I got a letter from a kid, man, that was from Bogota, Colombia. And it was addressed to James. He said, man, I wanted to see if you could show me how to start a blood neighborhood down here.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy to me, but you know what it made me realize, bro, is that a lot of the negativity, man, from the black culture has seeped over into other places, man. So we have to be very careful, and it's our responsibility to atone for all that stuff. It's like, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. I've never been a gangbanger. I was a crack selling motherfucker though, at one time, you know, and that's one of my life's biggest regrets. I'm not proud of that. Why would I be proud of that? Why would I come out and talk about that? Because I'm ashamed of that, bro. It was a period of time to where I was doing stuff that wasn't right. Never got into the gang stuff though. Never got into that. I never saw the logic in that. I was always like, man, shoot, doing that shit, you claiming some blue or some red, limiting yourself to the paper, to who you fuck with? No, I'm gonna fuck with everybody.
Great point.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to mess with everybody, so I wasn't into that, bro. And I saw that when I came out here in California, when I first came out, it was serious.
Yeah.
Like gangsterism was serious. It was like, you know, it was.
Is it subtle now compared to the way it was in the 80s?
You know what, man? It's still dangerous as a motherfucker.
I believe that.
I'm gonna tell you why. See, back then, motherfuckers had on a uniform. You see a dude in his khaki suit, his Lokes on, you know, okay, that nigga right there really crippin' right there. I'm gonna walk to the other side of the road and give him his language. They walk down the thing, what's happening, cuz? You know, they doing their thing.
Right.
You see the blood homies with their red rags on, they had a uniform on. Now, it ain't no uniform. A motherfucker walking here some skinny jeans, dog. A motherfucker walking here with some skinny jeans that's flaming red, some flaming red Jordans, and a red hat with and a tight ass jacket on, and he'll pop the shit out your ass. That's what makes it dangerous, because nobody has on no uniforms no more. Right. And the thing is, these little cats don't give a fuck about no old niggas talking about, hey man, we gonna do this and do that, man. They just killing they killing the OGs too, dog. They don't give a fuck about that. So hell yeah, it's dangerous as a motherfucker out here.
Why does that seem to be something that eventually happens? Not in just gang culture, but in general society, the young eventually tries to eat the old.
Well, you know what it is, man. I don't know if it's that exactly, dog. We just look at as in the African American community, dog, and it's sad. We die so young, bro, to where if we see a cat that's 30 years old, first thing, what's up, OG? 30 years old is still fairly young. You know what I mean? You got a lot of life left.
Yeah.
You know, I had cats call me when I was 30, like, what's happening, OG? You know, you kind of like, damn, is a motherfucker that old, you know?
Right.
But that's what it is. We don't live. We either get locked up or we get put in a box, dog. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Either way, we not here no more. So people are not used to seeing, a lot of people are just raised by their mothers, dog. Ain't no grandmothers around no more, ain't no grandfathers. It's like we continue a cycle. It's a cycle that just keeps completing all the time, bro. It just keeps going in a circle.
Right.
It's the same continuous cycle that just never gets broken.
Damn. A million downloads a month. Elaborate on what you had to do to get to that point.
Man, it was some hard work. And you know, one thing, bro, I never discount people for what they do. If everybody could have kept their egos out the mix, dog, and just went and played team ball, it would have probably been the greatest fucking podcast ever. And for that moment, you know what I mean?
Right.
Everybody has a moment. I don't know if it would have stayed that way forever, dog, but it would have been one of the greatest things ever. And it's still doing some phenomenal stuff. You think about it, man. You got a cat that's ex-convict that's able to take care of his grandson, dog. Don't have to do nothing wrong. Just got his first home this year. It's a lot of positive stuff to that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of positivity to that. You know, and what it was, man, is just really just focusing on the audio, dog, and telling the story. Right. Because I tell people all the time, when people get in their egos and they start thinking that people is looking at watching them or listening to them because of them, and I say, you know, dude, that's a very small part of it. It's always about the story. It's always about the story you tell. It ain't necessarily about me. It's about the story I'm telling. Because you have some episodes that do better than others. I may have an episode that does cool, but then I may have another conversation I have with somebody else that may just go all the way up, it's because of the story being told. Some more people identify with this story versus this one. And I think just consistently just keeping going, bro. Just keeping it pushing.
Yeah.
Regardless of what, just smash full speed ahead, damn the torpedoes. No matter what the fuck is in front of you, just keep on going.
Which episode did you record and you knew it was gonna be a hit when y'all was done with it? Like, man, we just killed that shit.
You know what, bro? I would probably say, man, I knew the Too Short episode was gonna do good. Like, I knew that one.
Right.
Because Too Short is just almost like no matter how many times I get to kick it with Short, you gotta remember I'm an old nigga, dog.
Yeah. So you appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it because Too Short was rapping when I was 16. So for him to still be here, and I'm like, nigga, I'm here kicking it with Sir Too Short. Nigga, you can't tell me shit. I used to ride through the backwoods of Ravenna, Kent, Youngstown, Ohio, bumping Too Short with the homie. You know what I mean? Bumping Too Short. And I was in high school, and I'm like, damn, man, I'm old as dust right now. This nigga, and he's that nigga that he is on record, dog. He come in and get so cool, like what's happening, y'all? He sit down and stuff, and he just, you know, he hit niggas with the pimp shit, and he just a cool nigga, dog. Like, Short is who he is on his records, dog, in real life. Yeah. He ain't going around disrespecting women and shit like that. But he's a cool nigga. Right. You get the vibe from him that Short is just a cool nigga, and he's a cool brother.
Man, still, man, I really, really enjoy hearing the intricate details about building Gangster Chronicles, because y'all are amongst some of the names that was been hot in association with podcasting. Like you said, everybody's doing it now, but it's just some platforms that was getting their notoriety, and y'all name was ringing. Shout out to MC Eiht, shout out to everything that you guys are doing. With all visual platforms, do y'all have the YouTube channel where people could?
Yeah, we got, you know, there's Digital Soapbox Network, all our stuff is on there. A whole lot of other stuff too. Shout out to my homeboy Yuck Mouth, you know, Smoke a Lot Radio. Y'all make sure y'all go check Smoke a Lot Radio. Go to Yuck Mouth's YouTube channel, I think it's Smoke a Lot Radio. Smoke a Lot Radio, Instagram. Get his Instagram up and all that good stuff, man. Hit us up, man, Digital Soapbox Network. And, you know, that's it, man. That's it. You're looking out for Discourse coming to Hulu, Tubi TV, and all them other platforms like that. And we out here.
What you expect to happen with the Suge Knight joint? What you expect that to be?
Man, you know what, dog? To be honest with you, I don't know what to expect, bro. I know people gonna want to. I know it's gonna be interesting for people. Yeah. I always go in thinking a mindset like this: it can't be nothing bad that happen with it. You know what I mean? What's the worst that can happen? You know, I feel like this. You know, Suge is an integral piece of West Coast, not just West Coast history, but music history. Period. I think people gonna want to hear what he got on his mind.
No doubt. Still tell my listeners your Instagram, Twitter, all your social media platforms where they can check you out. I appreciate your time again.
For sure.
At some point, I want to come on the Gangster Chronicles and kick it with you guys.
Oh, for sure.
Tell MC Eiht I'm a huge fan. Before
you know what,
Menace to Society, you know, Hood done took me under and all of that.
I should have hit him to come up here and see you, man. Man, you know, y'all go find me, start promoting my own Instagram page. I don't ever promote it, man, but hit me up on Instagram at Big Steele 562. That's BIGGSTEELE 562. That's on Instagram. That's on Twitter and everything else. Hit me up.
No doubt, man. This is refreshing, man. I don't all the time get a chance to interview curators, people who actually behind the camera, just like me and shit. So yeah, this is something new for my platform, man.
For sure, and shout out to Gully TV, because I know you doing your thing.
24/7, man. When I get done with you, I'm about to get on down the road to the Bay and keep it moving, man.
Oh, for sure. So you wanted to, who you got up there that you want to go see? Man, for sure. Who you want to go see up there?
Matt Mall, San Quinn.
Enjoying this exclusive Big Steele, Gangster Chronicles in the building.
What's happening?
Y'all gonna see that one real soon and shit. Tell them where the podcast is available at.
Man, everywhere you can get a podcast, man. Spotify, Apple, all that shit. Coming soon to Hulu. You dig?
Heard it. Coming soon to Hulu. Gangster Chronicles. Homie, I'm out.
Be cool. Choice. Young Money Militia Gang Zone, Corey Guns, and you watching them dribble. Gully TV. Let's get it.